Okay, so welcome to the October 10th Thursday chat. Through sort of misunderstanding, we have a few people less at the present moment because there's another program scheduled till 3:30, and usually we try to keep a half an hour gap. But I see it's beginning to get back to its normal level. I'm trying an experiment. There's a feature that Zoom has called AI Companion. And I mean, we're recording anyway, so that there's not a question of adding or taking away from privacy. But AI, a similar thing has been used recently by Amazon to summarize all of the ratings that you see, 5-star and 4-star. And I've seen it done for another meeting that I was at. It supposedly will summarize everything of any importance that we talk about in the meeting. We'll see how it works out and whether it's worthwhile distributing to everybody. But there's no reason to change your approach or what you say because you're being recorded anyway. We have a number of announcements. We'll start with Sharon Gouveia.
Hi, everyone. I would like you to please note the change of date and the time for the October wind down. It will take place on Thursday, October 31st at 4:15, immediately following the community chat. The Wind Down Travel Agency cordially invites you to travel with us to Transylvania, home of the infamous Count Dracula. We will meet in the Great Meadow Castle. We encourage you to wear something black to keep away the bats and the spiders. And in order to get us in the mood for this entertaining event, the classic 1931 movie Count Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi, will be shown on 9/18 on Wednesday, October 30th. We look forward to having fun together that evening. And by the way, you may want to keep your neck covered. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go any further, Faye Busgang is going to introduce somebody who's joining us for the first time and has just moved into our community. Faye, you're...
Okay, so I want to introduce Linda Gelb, who just moved in yesterday, originally from Lexington, more lately from Belmont. And she already knows a number of people here and is eager, I think, to meet a lot more. Linda, I'm going to unmute you and you can unmute yourself and just say hello.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? I just moved in yesterday. We're getting settled. All the boxes are out. And I'm looking forward to participating in the community. I'm at 4401.
Very good.
Terrific. Welcome.
Thank you.
Next, Bob Orkin.
Thanks, Jerry. Hello, everybody. What I'd like to do now is just to present a very, very brief report on what the NMA Council has been doing of late. I think most of you know that the NMA Council is, in a sense, the board for the Newbridge Members Association. The council meets monthly and is comprised of members who are tasked with representing the cottages, the villas, the 3,000 building, the 4,000 building, and the 5,000 building. Our purpose, our primary purpose, is communication between residents and management. Through floor meetings and other gatherings, concerns and questions are gathered to be passed on to management. And by inviting members of the management team to our board meetings, we can hear about a wide variety of issues that can be brought to you, our fellow residents, at the floor meetings. Our guest at our September meeting was our executive director, Matt Hollingshead. Though he attends all of our meetings, it has been a while since he has been our sole guest. His presentation to us was primarily about capital projects at Newbridge and how they are funded. We were reminded that the funds for capital improvements comes from the buy-in money collected from new residents. The more people who move in any given year, the greater the amount of money available for capital improvements. From that perspective, this past year provided relatively little money for these projects because there were not the anticipated number of new residents. The reality is that we are living longer and we are staying in our apartments. It is, of course, then very hard to predict what the future will bring, but the expectation is that there will be more folks moving in next year than this year, which will provide more funds for capital improvements. Some major capital projects on the drawing board is the internal rehab of the common areas in the 5000 building and the community center, redoing the central kitchen and dining areas, a major redo of our grounds, the landscaping, etc., and other projects that are identified over the course of any given year. Of course, Matt will talk more about projects as they begin, but we wanted you to understand where the funds for those projects come from. We are nearing the end of our NMA Council year, and we need people to run in an election, which will be held in November. And we really do need volunteers who will represent the various buildings so that we can better communicate with all of you. So the following are up for election, and I hope you will consider running. A representative for the cottages, who will serve for 2 years. A representative from the 3000 building, who will also serve for 2 years. Someone for the 4000 buildings, the 3rd and 4th floor, again, running for a 2-year term. Someone to represent the 5000 building, again, for a 2-year term. And finally, a representative at large who will serve for 1 year. In the event that there is no candidate for any given floor, there would be 2 representatives at large who would serve those floors, the cottages, the villas that do not have representation. There will be an announcement, of course, about the elections and how to participate in the election. But I sincerely hope that you will consider serving on our NMA Council. We really do have a lot of fun and we learn an awful lot. It's not an onerous task, but I hope that you understand how important it is that your floor or the cottages or the villas be represented. So if you have any questions, you can contact me, but I do look forward to a large slate of potential members of our council. Thank you, Jerry, for the time.
Thanks, Bob. Judith Kahn.
Thank you, Jerry, and hello, everybody. I have a couple of announcements to make on behalf of Newbridge's Hadassah chapter today. The chapter has become active again after a summer hiatus. And the first event I'd like to speak about is a documentary which the Newbridge Hadassah is sponsoring, and this is for the whole community. The date is Wednesday, October 16th. And it'll be at 2 p.m. in Great Meadow Hall with a guest speaker who is related to the executive producer of this documentary. The documentary is called The Dewey Stone Connection, From Exodus to Independence. And it's interesting in particular here because it recounts the story of a local hero. Some of you may already know who Dewey Stone is, but he was a local person who actually was in Brockton and became quite active on behalf of Israel and the creation of the state of Israel, and made a contribution that not too many people know about. And one of his neighbors, about 6 decades afterwards, started to do some research on his life and on his contributions and put together this documentary, which we will be showing again on October 16th, which is a Wednesday, 2 p.m. in Great Meadow Hall. And that's for the whole community. We hope that you'll come and enjoy the documentary, learn something new, and you'll be able to ask questions and participate with a guest speaker, Paul Newman, who's the son of Walter Newman, who initially produced the documentary. So that's for the whole community. And now for the Hadassah chapter itself, for the women in the community, all of the women in the Newbridge community, including Linda. New women are very, very, very welcome to come. We encourage it, and we enjoy to have new members. I want to send out a reminder to the women in the community that our Shabbat Hadassah study group is back on after its summer hiatus. And our next meeting will be on October 19th in the synagogue from 2 until 3. We usually go over because, the discussions are interesting and, people tend to go over, and we have a lot of fun together. We had a very well-attended focus group in September, and we decided on a course of study. We'll be using a Hadassah publication called Moonbeams, which is a Hadassah Rosh Chodesh guide. And that's a collection of essays and readings on topics of relevance to women, taking a Jewish perspective. We've been fortunate enough to have acquired a good number of copies of the book for the group to use or to own, actually. And I have them in my unit. So I'm running a little bookstore in my unit, which is 4412. And those who wish to have a copy of the book can pick one up from me. I'm going to be home tomorrow between 9:30 and 4, making the books available. And if that's not compatible with your schedule, please contact me either by email or my phone extension 42385, and we'll arrange to get a book to you. We are asking for a donation to Hadassah, a check made out to Hadassah for $18 for your book. And so please bring a check in that amount when you come and pick up your book. If coming by again is not, tomorrow is not compatible, just get a hold of me either through email or my extension 4385. And we'll make sure that you have a book before the 19th. We're going to be discussing for our first topic, women rabbis, the sort of origin of women rabbis and what the state of women rabbis is today. A very interesting topic, and I'm sure we'll have a variety of opinions. Thank you very much, Jerry, and everybody else.
Thank you, Judith. I don't usually make a personal comment, but David Stone was a member of my family, and we used to see him regularly during that period. He and Harry Levine put together the ship Exodus, hired the captain, and smuggled arms to Israel under the cover of being farm implements. He has quite a history, and the movie should be quite interesting. Jerry Somers.
Thanks, Jerry. I've lived here only since January, but in that short time, I've come, like all of you, to appreciate the warm, positive, responsive, and engaging hourly staff that we have, are roughly about 300 people. And they, as you know, are in the dining area, their housekeeping, administration, security, entertainment, transportation, facilities, IT, which we just mentioned, and maintenance. And my observation is there really exists here among our residents and staff an unusual amount of respect, a respect that creates a living experience, a community that may in fact be unique. One that, as I said previously, we're proud to be part of. Our no tipping or gifts policy helps in creating that atmosphere, I believe. And it's our appreciation fund twice a year that gives us the opportunity to thank our hourly employees. Our expression of appreciation is based on the number of hours each employee worked during the prior 6-month period. And it's very meaningful to each of them, as of course it meets their own needs, especially in a meaningful way at this time of year. Our recent letter to each of you suggested that each person show her or his appreciation by giving a gift by October 30 of $500 to $600, or hopefully more, as many residents have done. In fact, as of the beginning of this week, we have received 115 gifts of appreciation from nearly 50% of the independent living residents, and 50% of those gifts exceeded more than the suggested minimum. Each of you received the letter from the committee with an envelope, and we hope that each of you who hasn't yet will contribute no later than October 30 by leaving your check made payable to the Newbridge Appreciation Fund and showing your unit number on the check. Put the check in an envelope, which you can leave at the concierge desk in the independent living area, or by mailing it to the Appreciation Fund at 5107 Great Meadow Road here in Dedham. Thanks to all who have given to date, and in advance to all those who will join in contributing to this important fund. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. Dorrit Senior.
The 14th in Great Meadow Hall from 2 o'clock until 3 o'clock, we'll be treated to the second of the 2-part presentation arranged by the Newbridge Landscape Committee. The first, if you remember, addressed the land grant that resulted in the development of Dedham as a whole, and also the land on which Newbridge now sits. On Monday, our presenter will be Len Fishman, the former CEO of Hebrew Senior Life from 2000 to 2012. He will tell his story of how he and a group of visionaries were able to realize a dream. A dream was to create a new kind of living for seniors, and that dream is now our home, Newbridge on the Charles. I think it should be a wonderful, wonderful talk, and I think we're going to learn a lot. So please come, Monday from 2 to 3 in Great Meadow Hall. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Dorrit. Judith Boxelay.
Thank you, Jerry. I just want everyone to know that I will be repeating my lecture series on our Constitution in the News at Assisted Living. Lecture number 1 will be held next Tuesday, the 15th, and lecture number 2 on Tuesday, the 29th of October. I know many of you attended the one I did here in August, but I also know that I had many comments from people, oh, I'm going to be gone for the summer, or I'm going to be in Cape Cod for that month, and I'm really sorry to miss it. So if you are truly sorry that you missed it, this is your chance to come and hear it at Assisted Living, and it will be in the schedule. So thanks. That's it.
What time?
What time was the question?
It will
Judith?
be at 2 o'clock in the Assisted Living room.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
okay.
Sorry. It will be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the Assisted Living room, and it will be on the schedule, the weekly schedule that you'll be able to pick up on Friday.
Okay, Thank you. Tara Fleming Caruso.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to remind you that next Thursday at 2:00, this month's installment of Newbridge 101 will take place. It's a Zoom session where you can learn about all the psychosocial and medical supports that are available to you through HSL and here on the Newbridge campus. So if you're interested in coming, just shoot me an email or give me a call at 49404. Thank you.
Thank you. And Rabbi Judy. Rabbi Judy.
Here I am. Hi. Hello, everybody. I just want to make a whole string of announcements. And the first being this week coming up is Yom Kippur on Friday nights with the Kol Nidre service. I know that dinner before the holiday is being held early, and that the service itself will begin at 6 o'clock in the synagogue and Great Meadow Hall. Because the prayer, the Kol Nidre prayer itself, which is a musical gem, occurs right at the very beginning of the service, we are going to be closing the doors at 6 o'clock. So seating is available from 5:30 till 5:59, but at 6 o'clock we will close the doors, and if you arrive after that time, you'll need to wait till the Kol Nidre itself is finished and then come in for the rest of the service. So that's Friday night. On Saturday, there will be services in the morning at 10 o'clock and at 5:30 in the afternoon. At Newbridge, it is our tradition to do the Yizkor service in the morning, not the afternoon. So we will have a service. I will send the times out again in an email, but I just wanted to make sure to point out about the Yizkor service. And then before you know it, 5 short days later, it will be Sukkot. And we will celebrate the first day of Sukkot in the Sukkah with donuts and cider, conversation, shaking the lulav, smelling the etrog, and just being together and celebrating the holiday. The following week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I will be eating lunch in the Sukkah, and everybody who'd like to come, please do. It's a bring your own lunch event, and I'll be there between 12 and 1 on Tuesday and Wednesday for lunch. Next Thursday is Shmini Atzeret Simchat Torah, the very end of this Sukkot prolonged holiday. And again, there will be a Yizkor memorial service, both for people's individual family members, as well as for the Hebrew date of when the massacre in Israel took place on Simchat Torah a year ago. So there'll be a service from 10:30 to 12. And then there won't be anything happening on my calendar until Christmas, when it is Hanukkah as well. But we won't rush that. We'll talk about that closer to the time. Thank you. And I wish all those who are celebrating a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.
Josh and Eileen.
Thank you, Jerry. Eileen's going to go first, and then I'll be the anchor man.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're all doing well today. So I just have 2 announcements. First of all, like Rabbi Judy said, tomorrow night, it's very important that you know that we have the Shabbat dinner at 4 p.m. sharp tomorrow night. So it's like a Shabbat, so everyone comes at the same time and we have the dinner, and it is at 4 p.m. and it is in by the Nosh, the Winter Garden area where we normally have it. And that's tomorrow night. And then on Friday or Saturday night, we have Break the Fast in Great Meadow Hall, and that's after the services. And that will be a dairy meal. So again, tomorrow night, 4 p.m. sharp, down by the Winter Garden, in Winter Garden, and then Saturday night in Great Meadow Hall after services.
So once we have that done, also just to let you know that we do have the wind down on October 31st, which is a Thursday after Jerry's Zoom call. And just to make sure that you can look us up on the website where we're going. I know Sharon told you already, but just to mark your calendars, and we hope to see you there as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. Any questions for Eileen before I go into a few more announcements? All right, well, thank you. That covers the plans for the High Holy Day dinners tomorrow night and Saturday night in Winter Garden and Great Meadow Hall. I'm going to talk a little bit about Centro. For tomorrow night in Centro, the menus that went out did indicate that it is a regular dinner service with some inspired specials, but it is not a buffet. There was a little bit of confusion with the reservations that tomorrow night in Centro was a buffet. It is not. So it'll be the full dinner menu plus the specials that were sent out in the High Holy Day packet and will be repeated tomorrow through email and available on the website. So just a little clarification on that. And then, yes, Saturday night in Centro will be the Break the Fast buffet. Staying with the Centro theme, we are at that time again when it's time to reinvigorate and reinvent the dinner menu. So yesterday we presented the new dinner menu draft to the dining committee. We are looking to roll that out Monday, October 21st. Will be the start of the new Centro Fall dinner menu. Keep in mind, and this will be repeated in the Culinary Corner and dining communications, that when we do a new dinner menu rollout, we do close for lunch that Monday. That allows us to work out any bugs with the computer system, train the service staff and cooks on the new menu items, and kind of just work out all the kinks before we actually open for dinner with the new menu to the community at large. So more to come on that, more information. I will be doing the presentation on the Zoom chat next Thursday. Chef Patrick and Eileen are off-site, involved in some senior dining things. So it will be me presenting on the Zoom chat next Thursday. And then finally, I just want to mention, for those of you that have seen Carlos up in Centro, it's great to have him supporting us up there. Carlos has supported us in many dining outlets, including Meadowview over in assisted living in Nosh. You know, we had communicated that in Jennifer's absence, you would see some support from other team members, and Carlos is one of those team members helping us. I also want to acknowledge that you have made notice that Adriana has been absent. Adriana is taking a temporary personal leave. We anticipate her being out for about 6 weeks as of right now. So you will see additional support in Centro. But I wanted to bring that up, that Adriana will be and intends to return. Again, this was a temporary personal leave. So we will be adjusting Adriana's phone, will be forwarded most likely to me. So if there's something that Adriana handles for you or you need, you can certainly still call her extension and that will get forwarded to the proper person. You can also contact the restaurant directly for non-urgent matters and normal things, and they can get you to the right supervisor or person as far as Centro operations. So I'm happy to open up if there's any questions about anything that I covered, Jerry.
Well, Charlotte Chase has a question. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to check that Centro will be open at 4:45 tomorrow for dinner.
Yes, actually, Centro is always open at 4:45, just so you know. So that's not a shift. The only shift we really did for Centro is we will stay open later on Saturday night. So Centro's buffet will run longer on Saturday night to accommodate those attending services on Saturday. And Charlotte, what you also reminded me of, either of those 2 days, if you want to place a takeout order, the full dinner menu is available for both those days for takeout, as long as you place your order as usual by 2 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Any other questions? Okay, Josh. You're all set? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're ready for you, Matt Hollingshead.
All right, thank you. Hello, everyone. Wow, there's a lot going on, isn't there? I'm listening to all these announcements and I'm saying to myself, what a vibrant community we have. There's so much happening. So To the community at large, thank you for making this community what it is. It's absolutely incredible. Something incredible happened this week that really touched me a great deal, and I know it touched a lot of you as well. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible October 7th memorial that was held in Great Meadow Hall. And particularly, I want to acknowledge Rabbi Judy and the Spiritual Life team for putting together such a meaningful time together. It really was. It was very special. Similarly, for those of you that will be fasting, I want to wish you an easy fast. Anything we can do to help during that time period, please let us know. That's, of course, why we're here, is to help all of you, have a wonderful experience. Along with my kudos, I'd like to thank Jess Coleman, Mark Blajewski, Christina Rice, and Nancy Sullivan, and the Community Life team for doing an incredible job with the vaccination clinic. That's one of those things that looks easy on the surface, but there's so much coordination and paperwork. They just jumped right to it. They volunteered, they got the paperwork together, they worked with Dedham Pharmacy, and as far as I could tell, it went off pretty well. We certainly had a lot of folks get vaccinated, so thank you to that team. And thank you to the community for getting vaccinated and keeping yourself and your neighbors and your family and your friends and everybody around you healthy. Wintertime is generally a tough time of year for viruses. I don't expect this to be any different. So having yourself vaccinated makes a huge difference. So thank you. Last weekend, we had the Jog Your Memory Run and 5K walk. We had the largest showing we've ever had at this event, which is terrific because Newbridge is one of the main sponsors of this. As a reminder, this event is for caregivers of those with cognitive decline. And it's just a really hyper-local event that draws a lot of attention, and it's right in our bailiwick. It's a tremendous event. And so for those of you that made the trip, I very much appreciate it. I'm going to pause for 1 second because I just covered a bunch of stuff really fast. See if anybody has any questions on those.
Don't see any.
Okay. Bob, thank you very much for doing a wonderful synopsis of our NMA meeting and the discussion around capital planning. As Bob was describing, our capital is based on when people move in and pay an entrance fee. And we haven't had very many people move out this year. So we haven't had very many people move in. So I've really been focusing my efforts on planning and making sure that when those capital dollars come in, and we do expect them to come in, that we can just go to work and not waste all of our time planning. So right now, I'm working on planning for the dining rooms and the kitchens. I'm working on planning for the community center as well as the residences in the community center. I'm working on planning for the 3,000 building, and I'm working on planning for the 4,000 building. On top of that, I've also been working on planning for the landscape master plan. So tremendous amount of work happening this year. And the goal is when we're ready to go, we can just flip the switch and we can get going. So that's the hope, because these are things that I really want to do. And I'm sure you really all want them done as well. We've got to keep the community fresh. It's critical, takes a ton of planning, and frankly, a significant amount of capital to make it happen. My hope is in the springtime, we'll have our first plantings go in the ground for the landscape master plan. That would be zone 1 planting. We're going to break out the campus into different zones. And the reason for doing that is because if we bounced around all over the place and just replaced one thing here, one thing there, there'll never be a plan for the future. So by doing it in zones, we're able to work through it in a strategic way. And then we work through the whole campus. We can then do it again and do it again after that. And it just gives us a working plan. I'm very much a planner. I have a hard time just bouncing around. So it's as much for me as the community and the future of the community. So hopefully in the spring, the landscape master plan will be up and running. And this is a bit of a hope. I'm not fully there yet to say this, but I also hope that by the end of the fiscal year, the work will start happening on the community center and the residences within the community center. A few more hurdles I got to get through before I can fully make that commitment, but that's what I've been working on pretty extensively in the capital planning world. And I just want you all to know that. It's important. It's hard stuff. And I just want to be as transparent as possible with the community so they all know where we're going. And as exciting as it is, anytime you do work like this, it's disruptive as well. So we'll have a ton of communication when we get to that point. And then lastly, you're going to see in my letter tomorrow this really cool study being offered by the Marcus Institute. And I'm just going to try to highlight some of the things in the blurb that I found to be a bit exciting. And so it's the Marcus Institute for Aging Research is currently recruiting participants for the Sleep Improvement via Environmental Smart Temperature Adjustment Study. Wow, that's a mouthful. The research, it'll investigate whether sleep can be improved in older adults by adjusting the bedroom temperature. This is an 8-week study, and participants will wear a watch when they're sleeping that monitors their sleep quality. They're also, meaning Marcus, will replace your thermostat with a smart thermostat. So they'll be able to adjust the bedroom temperature slightly each night, and then they'll identify the optimal temperature for your sleeping. So this is a pretty cool technology study. Eligible participants need to be 65 years old, able to work with a smartphone, and don't have any major ongoing or unstable medical conditions. They're even going to provide a compensation of $200 for those that participate. They were thoughtful enough at the end to even say, we'll also reinstall your own thermostat after the participation is complete. So you'll see this in the letter tomorrow, and it shows you how to sign up. I think this is a really neat thing. There's so many studies that are happening with seniors around temperature, lighting, and I believe truly that this stuff makes a difference. And I think Newbridge should be the place that we are doing this stuff. So if you are open and willing to having somebody adjust your temperature to have the best night's sleep you've had, I encourage you to sign up. And so with that, I'm happy to take any questions anybody may have.
I think Rona Goodman has a question.
Yeah, I was just curious, Matt, do you have any plans to fix some of the things at the cottages, the outside parts that really need to be fixed? I've talked to many people here, and the outside is really decaying a lot. So do you have any plans for that?
Are you talking about the shingles and stain, Rona?
Yeah, the shingles and some of the painting and the windows that need to be fixed. There's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah. So the capital plan actually outlines every single year over the next 20 years when those things get done.
I don't think I'm going to be alive.
No, I was just going to say, I don't have it in front of me at the moment, so I can't tell you what year it's slated for. But I know it's not far out because every year has money earmarked for what you call envelope work, which would be the exterior painting and that stuff. The windows, I think we're going to have to suffer with for a little while longer because replacing these windows is going to be an exorbitant expense.
Yeah.
So
the garages and the locks, right? When they did the work, they didn't really finish it at some of the places here. So I'm just letting you know.
Thank you. And I encourage you to, Rona, if there are small items that we can take care of just by simply putting in a work order, please do. And at the same time, I encourage the community, if there's an overarching trend, that we can tackle sooner than later, let us know, because then we can work it up higher on the priority list. The only hard part is when something goes up on the list, obviously something has to move down. So there's a little finagling we can do here and there.
We could get rid of some of the people here. That would give us more money.
Thank you, Rona. I appreciate you bringing it up.
Mayor, we got Mayor Fine, go ahead.
So with regard to the landscaping business you were just talking about, Matt, now that we're coming into the end of the need for watering the grounds and what have you, for the next spring, will we have the stuff up at the cottages?
Yeah, we will. So we are waiting on, I think it's the excavation company to give us the date to tear up a corner of the parking lot to make the repair for the cottage irrigation. I don't know if Fernando's on, but I believe we were supposed to have an answer in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm here, Matt. As of right now, they're scheduled to come out the week of the 22nd to start tearing up that portion of the parking lot to fix the leak. So once that's done, it'll be just in time to shut down the system. But yeah, by next summer, you should be all set.
Yep, Murphy's Law, as it always goes, Mayor.
Yeah.
We fix it and we shut it down.
Any other questions? Okay, looks like we're done for this week. We'll see you next week, same time, same station.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank